Planarian flatworms are amazing creatures because they can regenerate almost any part of their body. If you cut one in half, each part can grow into a complete new worm. This ability comes from a special type of cell called pluripotent stem cells, which can turn into any type of cell the worm needs, like skin, muscle, or even brain cells. It's like having a built-in repair system that never stops working. Because of this regeneration power, planarians don't really age the way most animals do. Instead of getting older and weaker, they can just replace damaged or aging cells with fresh ones. Some scientists think this makes them biologically immortal, meaning they could, in theory, live forever as long as nothing kills them, like predators or disease. Their incredible regenerative ability has also made them a popular subject for research in biology and medicine. Lobsters are fascinating creatures because they don't age the way most animals do. Instead of getting weaker and slower over time, they keep growing and reproducing throughout their lives. They have a special enzyme called telomerase, which helps repair their DNA, allowing them to avoid the typical effects of aging. This means that, in theory, lobsters could live forever if they don't fall victim to disease, predators, or other external dangers. However, their shell, or exoskeleton, doesn't grow with them, so they have to molt and shed it to grow bigger. This process gets harder as they grow older, and eventually, it can be so taxing that some lobsters die during molting. Despite this, some lobsters have been found to live over 100 years. So, while they aren't truly immortal, lobsters are an amazing example of how nature can defy the aging process. The Hydra is a tiny freshwater creature that's pretty amazing when it comes to regeneration. It's often considered biologically immortal because it doesn't seem to age like most animals. What makes the Hydra special is its ability to constantly renew its cells, so instead of getting old, it just keeps replacing damaged or old cells with new ones. This means, under the right conditions, a Hydra can potentially live forever. It's named after the Hydra from Greek mythology, a creature that could regrow its heads if they were cut off. Similarly, if you cut a Hydra in half, each half can regenerate into a whole new Hydra. It doesn't suffer from the typical effects of aging, like a weakened immune system or loss of strength. Scientists are fascinated by this little creature because understanding its regeneration ability could lead to breakthroughs in aging research. The Turritopsis dohrnii, also called the Immortal Jellyfish, is a tiny creature that can do something incredible. It cheats death. Found in oceans around the world, this jellyfish is special because when it gets injured, sick, or old, it doesn't just die like most animals. Instead, it can actually reverse its aging process, transforming its cells back to a younger stage, like a baby version of itself. This allows it to start its life all over again. Imagine if humans could turn into babies again when we got too old. That's basically what this jellyfish does. While it's not completely indestructible, it can still be eaten or harmed. Its ability to avoid natural aging makes it one of the closest examples of immortality in the animal kingdom. Scientists are fascinated by this creature, hoping to learn more about how it might help with human aging someday. The ocean quahog Arctica islandica is an incredible species of clam that can live for centuries, with some known to have reached over 500 years old. These clams are found in the cold waters of the North Atlantic, where their slow metabolism helps them conserve energy and extend their lifespan. One of the most famous ocean quahugs, nicknamed Ming, was discovered to be 507 years old. The secret to their longevity lies in their slow growth and ability to maintain healthy cells for centuries. They don't show typical signs of aging, like many other animals. Instead, they keep living, growing slowly, and reproducing even at advanced ages. Scientists study these clams to understand more about aging and longevity, hoping to learn what keeps them healthy for so long. Their shells also record environmental changes, making them useful for studying historical climate conditions. Sea urchins, especially species like the red sea urchin Strongylocentrus franciscanus, are fascinating because they seem to defy aging. Unlike many animals, they don't show typical signs of getting older, like decreased reproduction or weaker bodies. In fact, some of them can live for more than 200 years. Scientists think this is because their cells continue to regenerate throughout their lives, meaning they can repair damage and stay healthy even as they age. What makes them even cooler is that they live in environments where the water is cold, which may help slow down their metabolism, contributing to their long lifespans. And despite their spiky, hard appearance, they have soft, vulnerable insides that can regenerate after being injured. So, while they look pretty tough, their true power lies in their ability to keep on going, making them some of the longest living creatures in the ocean. The Greenland shark is one of the most fascinating creatures in the ocean due to its incredible lifespan. These sharks are known to live for hundreds of years, with some reaching up to 400 years old. Imagine that living across multiple human generations. Their slow growth is a big reason for their long lives. Greenland sharks grow only about a centimeter a year and are found in the cold, deep waters of the Arctic and North Atlantic, which helps them conserve energy. The Greenland shark is one of the most fascinating creatures in the ocean due to its incredible lifespan. These sharks are no unlike many animals. These sharks don't age in the traditional sense. They don't experience the same kind of wear and tear on their bodies as we do. Scientists believe that their cold environment and slow metabolism help them live such long lives. Because of this, Greenland sharks hold the record for being the longest living vertebrates on Earth. They're like the wise elders of the ocean, quietly roaming the deep for centuries. Tardigrades, often called water bears, are tiny, resilient creatures that can survive in extreme environments. Despite their small size, less than 1 millimeter, they are incredibly tough. Tardigrades can endure extreme temperatures, from boiling hot to freezing cold, and can survive without water for decades by going into a dried-out, dormant state called cryptobiosis. They've even survived the vacuum of space. One of the coolest things about tardigrades is their ability to handle high levels of radiation, pressures far greater than what's found at the deepest ocean trenches, and even exposure to harmful chemicals. All of this makes them almost indestructible in nature. Though they don't technically live forever, they are extremely resilient and can live a very long time in hostile conditions. Their ability to bounce back from such extremes makes them seem almost immortal to scientists who study them. The Bdelloid Rotifer is a tiny, resilient creature that can survive in some of the harshest conditions on Earth. These microscopic animals have a superpower. when their environment becomes too extreme. Like drying out completely, they can enter a dormant state, almost like hitting the pause button on life. In this state, they can go without water for years, and when things get better, they rehydrate and come back to life as if nothing happened. What's even more amazing is their ability to avoid aging during this process. They don't just survive tough conditions, they thrive. Bdelloid Rotifers also don't need a mate to reproduce. They can clone themselves, which helps them survive in isolated environments. These tiny creatures may not be immortal in the traditional sense, but their ability to bounce back from extreme conditions makes them nearly indestructible and capable of living a surprisingly long life. The naked mole rat is a fascinating little creature, not just because of its unusual appearance, but also for its incredible resistance to aging and disease. These rodents can live up to 30 years, which is remarkable considering most rodents only live a few years. What's really amazing about naked mole rats is their resistance to cancer. Unlike other mammals, they almost never get cancer, thanks to a special molecule in their bodies called hyaluronan that prevents cells from growing out of control. They also have a unique way of dealing with pain. Naked mole rats lack certain pain receptors, so they don't feel pain the way other animals do. And when it comes to oxygen deprivation, they can survive low oxygen environments for much longer than most creatures, which helps them thrive in their underground burrows. Their tough, unusual biology makes them one of the most interesting animals in the scientific world.